Hi guys, so in this tutorial I'd like to go back to basics a bit and talk about the selection command. If you've done the AutoCAD basic course, then you did learn some basic selection tools, but I'm going to go a lot more in depth in this advanced course and show you some things that can really speed up your drawing. It's this kind of thing that really sets you out more as an AutoCAD professional, and this can really speed up your drawing. You see people quite new to AutoCAD picking away one thing at a time, but the guys who've been using it a long time will just fire through, use all these little commands and tips and tricks to highlight difficult groups of items, and you'll see in this tutorial how powerful that can be. So the first command, we'll go back to the basic. So although we could select items first using a basic pick command or window, to get the full range of selection tools we need to really have a tool active. So for the purpose of this tutorial I'm just going to use erase. You could use move or copy, but for the purpose of this I'm going to click on erase. Okay, so the first and most basic selection tool is just VPick, and that is simply picking items one at a time by clicking on them. Okay, now with this you can, if you accidentally pick on that item and realise you didn't need that one, you can type U for undo, enter, and it will undo. Type it again and it will, and you can keep undoing your selection, and you could click them again if you undo too many. But that is pretty much a basic pick command. It's simple and it's what most new users will be doing. Okay, we'll press escape to deselect them all. The next command, and we spoke about this in the basic course, but I'll go over it again, is, click on erase, our window command. And if you remember the window, the way the window works is if we click in the top left click once, you don't have to hold it down, and then we drag our window to there. Now you can see our window has completely covered some objects. Others it's just crossing but not completely cover them. And if you notice, they go grey when the window covers them. Anything that goes grey like that is being selected. Now when you go from top left to bottom right, you need to completely cover the object with the window in order for it to be picked. Okay, so if I don't cover these bottom four here, if I just slightly go over them with the window, it won't select them. Escape that. If we draw our window from top right, now if you watch the shapes going grey, as soon as we touch a shape it will be selected. Okay, the AutoCAD term for this is crossing. So this way is a window, and the window has to go all the way over the shape. That's a window selection. This way is a crossing selection, and it means if you cross over that object, we select it. So again, if we just touch these ones, you can see they've actually been selected. So that is the difference between going top left down, sorry, select the command. That is the difference between going top left down or top right down. It's a window or a crossing. Okay, and you can practice that. This drawing is downloadable from a course, so you can play about with this, and you'll notice I've done them different colours. There's squares and there's circles, and you'll see why soon. Okay, so that's window. But supposing you only wanted certain circles and squares, you couldn't draw a window without selecting others you didn't want. There is another command if we click on erase, and if you type F and return, this is what's called a fence selection. And how this works is, it is a line that works as a crossing command. So as soon as your line touches any object, it selects it. Okay, and you can see this is very good when you've got objects in amongst others and you only want certain objects. You can go around with this fence any shape you want. You can even press F8 and turn ortho on if you wanted to only go over certain shapes. If you wanted to just, and this is a very useful command. It's one that a lot of people, I don't see a lot of people using it. People tend to just prefer to do this kind of thing. I don't know why. It really does speed things up, especially on a complex drawing. So that's fence. Now if you had a complex area, it might be some kind of field or funny shaped room or something like that, and you wanted to select everything in there, you can do what's called a window poly. So if you WP for window poly, and now this works like drawing the window, but it doesn't have to be square. So if we draw a polyline, and usually you would be following the boundaries of a room or something when you did this, but you could use it just to select a group of items within an area like that, and you'll see all the shapes within that shape, all the objects within that shape were selected. And this works just like the window command. We have window poly and we have crossing poly. So window poly was WP. If you type CP now, so if we select erase and type CP now, it's the same command, but this time, like with the window, we only have to touch it, okay, to select them. So when we use WP, you can see we have to actually cover something completely to select it. With crossing polygon, CP, we only have to touch it. And again, this is useful for working in restricted areas.